Dryer again, and another Let's Play Solo. All right, this is actually session 1 for level 2. But not quite, because I substituted in my new 2024 characters, and they're ready to head down to level 2. Unfortunately, they leveled up in the dungeon after an encounter, which is the way I like to do it. And to get to the stairs down, they're going to have to go up and around through the secret door and finally go down the stairs. That's 2 wandering counter checks. So assuming they don't get stomped, 6 on a 6 die will generate 1, and they didn't get any. All right, they make it to the stairs. You know, if I had assumed it, I'm sure I would have gotten a bunch of encounters. It would have been actually not been too bad if we got encounters, because I still have 2 characters that are only first level. I'm going to just drag and drop them all the way over here, because they made it to the stairs. And let's go ahead and head down. All right, now that they're ready to go downstairs, let's talk about Quest. The way I'm running Quest is this is still an exploration emphasis. Let's play through. So I don't want to make a big deal out of quests. They're supposed to be kind of a fun little thing that's non-combat encounters, and give the and they're supposed to give the characters a chance to flex a little bit of their skills. That's kind of the primary purpose. There are some systems, solo play systems, where it's all about the quest. You go on a quest into a dungeon, you complete the quest, then you leave the dungeon. Dungeon Bash, which was made for D&D 3X, is an excellent example of those. It's still available on Drive-Thru RPG for less than $10. If you want to see a good example of quest-based adventuring, that's a good one. You also have some really good how to determine what an NPC, what a monster does, versus is it a melee attack, or is it a ranged attack or spellcaster, whatever. That would transfer over quite well. All right, down the stairs we go. So the first thing I want to do when we go downstairs is I want to generate the quest for the levels. The idea for the way I'm going to currently implement it, and this is in a flux, I'm testing it, is I want to have quests that are worth about 10% of the value of the XP to make the next level. So this is small. I think 10 to 20 is probably reasonable. To make it to 3rd level, our guys need 900 experience, and it takes 300 to make it to 2nd. So basically the difference, 900 minus 600, is how much experience they need to get. So that would be 600. I'm going to use 10%, so that would be 60. I have 5 guys in the party, so 60 times 5 is 300. And then I want to do 2 quests, so basically each quest is worth 150 experience. Like I say, I'll play with these numbers, but the 90-10 rule or the 80-20 rule probably sounds like good starting amounts. So what are my quests? I have built some templates, and which I will refine over time. And so our first quest, we'll bring this up and generate it. Once again, just like the rooms, you generate a quest. And to make them mutually exclusive, I've set up 2 quest templates. So the quests are going to be a little bit different. And let's take a look at what we got. All right, so the first one is a find clues to safely escort. Okay, this is an escort mission. Use a random NPC counter to the correct place using skill performance. Oh, okay, so you have to use performance. So this is what I'm talking about when I said, oh, they need to use their skills. Well, to successfully complete this quest, they're going to need to do performances. Possibly for the NPC, possibly to find out what's going on. This will be interesting. It's a quest easier, and what the quest easier means is that the DCs, first and second level, are only 9. So as you can guess, most of my guys are not going to be very proficient in performance. So they actually have a pretty reasonable chance with an easier quest to do it. Now, if they do manage to fail the quest, they can get another one after a long rest. But if and when these guys actually make it to third level, the majority of the party, then the quest will basically cancel out. The idea is that I'm assuming these are non-exclusive quests for the party, that other people are trying to do the same thing, and that sometimes other people just beat them out. All right, so we got a performance quest, and so what do we need? We need 3 successes before 3 failures. And so whenever we come to a quest location, which is a new thing I've added to rooms and chambers, there's a chance that we might roll on one of these 2 quests to see if we can advance it or whether they fail. All right, the other one's a mystery. Using insight, roll, trying to figure out a clue. Now the quest 2s are the ones I'm not happy with. They're not quite as well written, so they're going to be a lot more open-ended and such. So we got 4 successes before 3 failures on this one. This one's a harder quest, and we're gonna use insight. Yeah, that might be tough. This is just on the surface a quest that we could fail. So now that we got our 2 quests, and I'm gonna go ahead and pin these to the start of the level. But now it's time to start our level. We just went down the stairs, and to refresh you, first thing we need to do is we need a new image. And we've got Dungeon 01, which is the first level. Actually, you know what? Let's update this. These guys are they're underneath Clint Keep. The ruins of Kent Keep. Kent. Quint Keep. Say that 3 times in a row. I'll show you maybe I'll show you the overall map one day. So the second level is going to be Quint Keep 02. All right. So there's our new image, and we start off with the stairs. So we go to our index of all tiles, and we want the 00 start chamber. We drop it on, and we need to get it on the grid here. There we go. There's our guys coming down. Now that I have my quest, I'm going to go ahead and put the quest, just pin them right here by the start room so I can find them. The idea is when we find a quest location, you generate if you have open quests, you select one of them randomly. If you only have one, obviously, you'll select that one. All right, so there's their 2 quests. Now, they need an NPC. One of the things about the NPC escort missions is that they're trying to take him somewhere and drop him off. So you aside from failing it by not being able to do your performances, you can also fail it if you manage to get the NPC killed. So we need to add an NPC to the party. And here's where you could go wild on why they're escorting an NPC. Is he an infiltrator? Is it somebody disguised as one of the monsters? That's where, if you got an oracle or something, that's where you would start doing it. So what I'm going to do is I have Level 2 encounters. I'm going to go ahead and generate the quest NPC here. So I'm going to just roll on this table. And then, by the way, I'm going to go ahead and fix this so when I actually roll for real on it. All right, so giant centipedes. Definitely interesting. So what we are doing is escorting a giant centipede. That's... The giant centipedes are small beasts. So I'm not quite sure why we're doing it. It's obviously a secret mission on Need to Know. So in a small cage, the way I'm going to play it is they have a giant centipede, which is basically there. I'll put it on there and I'm going to make it neutral. Now their job is to keep this thing alive, by the way. The good news at this low level, there aren't that many AoEs, area effect spells, to kill it off. So I'm going to assume it's in a cage and they need to deliver it to the right place. They're not sure where, but clearly the giant centipede is important. It's got a cool little collar on it, which nobody knows what it means. And a very reputable Temple of Light has told them they need to do this. And no, they don't need to know why. So our giant centipede. All right, this is going to be fun. That's the idea of these things. You got some weird things. You can kind of go with the flow or try to make it realistic, but I'm already kind of digging the fact that they're escorting a giant centipede. All right, let's get our buddies on the map. And I probably need to add the centipede to put the centipede and the owl together. Once again, silence is tiny, which means he can share the square, so somebody needs to carry the centipede. And it's probably going to be the cleric. Cleric has a 15 strength. I'm going to get these guys in a square so they can get into exploration mode. Even though this will probably ensure that I hit a random encounter right at the bottom of the stairs, but that's the way it goes, according to Murphy's Law. All right, so our guys are coming down the stairs, but what's down there? Let's back them up a little bit, because if there is something down there, they'll be just coming around. They may start noticing them. So back to our index of all tiles. Because it's the start, we can't generate the attached. So we'll just click here to get the start, generate what's in there. And we've got a quest location. Wow. We get down to the bottom of the stairs and we immediately get cool stuff. Let's, normally I put the pins outside to show, but I'm going to put them on the stairs because that's where they're coming from. All right, so a quest location. This is what I was talking about. So basically, if you have open quests, and I have two, you get to choose one randomly, select success or failure. Also, it's got a cobblestone floor. You could break your ankles on those. Ceiling's flat, made from 2.5-foot blocks. Okay, so there's nothing super frightening about this other than the cobblestone floor. You can argue that if people are running across cobblestone floors, they might have problems. All right, but the cool thing is our quest location, which means we're going to immediately get a chance to try to advance one of our quests. So we have two quests. We have the quest 1 and the quest 2. We're going to roll any dice. In this case, I'll just roll a d20. And if it comes up odd, get a chance to advance quest number 1. If it comes up even like that did, then we'll get a chance to advance quest number 2. All right, so this is the harder quest, and we're looking for mysteries. We're trying to solve something. One of the things, as I refine this, I'm hoping to actually come up with a list of mysteries that they're actually trying to solve. In this case, we have a generic mystery they're looking for clues to. It could be lots of things. Our case, we're trying to have a sense of the outside world. So we can say something like they're trying to figure out why certain bushes Let's see, they're actually are turning blue. Um, so that could be it's a mystery. Nobody knows why, some sort of weird magic thing happening, but they think that there's a solution inside. This is why eventually I'd like to do a set of tables to generate what the mystery is. All right. So as you explore dungeon across opportunities, basically that's the quest location. And so let's give it a try. We want to do the quest harder on insight. So that means we need DC 13 insights. Let's go back to our party sheet and set up a skill check. Insight. Oh, a little bit too far. There we go. DC is 13. Let's try it. Because these are group skill checks. The idea is that I have 5 guys. You need 3 successes. All right, so they go down there and they start looking for mysteries. Technically, they're looking in the ground. Oh, I think this might have something to do with our quest. Success, failure, success, failure, failure. Okay, so they did not get a majority of successes, so this is a failure. Now, all a failure means is we failed this check. It doesn't mean the quest itself has failed, because our quest 2 says 4 successes for 3 failures. Now the first, I'm going to unlock this so we can do progress. So basically for a failure, I'm going to put a negative. So if I get 3 negatives before, and if I get a success, I'll just put a plus. So I can fail twice more before the whole quest fails. So, insight, they're looking around for clues and they miss one. Oops. Time to get doing some more exploring. Let's select everybody again, apparently. There we go. All right, so they basically ran around looking for the things and they totally missed the mystery one. They're carefully carrying their centipede. So we can go in any direction 4 ways. Once again, taking advantage of the ability of Fantasy Grounds to expand in all directions. They don't have no strong preference. A 1 is north clockwise. Round, they decided to go east. East is clearly the best direction. Oops, and I got him hung on the corner. Let's get him back. Centipede in the owl. All right. So what is the east? All right. So I'm using. Let's get back to our book. Random dungeon tiles. One of the things I suggested here down it. I'm going to use this. After the first level, you don't mind a little more complexity. The tiles that are immediately adjacent to the start room, I'm going to use early exploration, no rooms. For the tiles that are 2 out exactly, I'll use early exploration table, which does have rooms. And then further out, I'll use normal exploration. This particular level can have 2 horde treasure / boss encounters. I'll talk more about those probably in the next session as soon as we get a couple encounters in and how I'm planning on handling those. All right, so let's do our early exploration table with no rooms. I reset these, so I need to click there and try it again to get an immediate roll. All right, we've got straight and a right T. Okay, that's good. Means we're not going to dead end right away, which is the whole point of the early exploration tables. Let's get the index back up, and we got number 36. A little further. There we go. Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, so straight and right. So basically it's a straight and a right turn. Should be something like about that. Off a little. There we go. All right, so basically you can go straight or you can turn right. Let's see if there's anything in there. Once again, we're now keeping our eye on the chances for advanced or not advanced quests. So we got uneven clay tiles, and this one's got a challenge. All right. Now the challenges are usually right before the intersection, about halfway. So basically, this intersection is where the challenge takes place. All right, let's go find out what the challenge is. So the challenge, I set up some different tables. So let's get them so they'll actually roll. We've got a VAT challenge, and it's an easier one. Okay, so the way challenges work, to review those who aren't familiar with them, is basically they prevent you from passing. So when our guys get up to this intersection, they trip the VAT challenge. Now the VAT challenge, similar to the quest challenges, is a group skill challenge. If the majority of the people pass it, then they will be able to move forward. If they fail, then they won't be able to move forward. They can try again. The damage, there's a little bit of damage, but it's very small. Let's go ahead and check it out. So we have they talk about it's a group check. So basically, demons are about to throw you in a vat of acid. So what happens is our guys, the first guy strides into the intersection. Suddenly, each individual character finds themselves about to be thrown into a vat of acid. They're not together. They're each individual. Choice of to avoid getting thrown into a vat of acid, they can either roll an acrobatics or athletics check. A failed check means that they end up in the acid and then suddenly they transport back. So let's get back to our party sheet. And this one we almost might want to roll individually because normally I would roll it all at once, but because individual preferences by each character are going to matter. So I'm going to flip over to the PCs. Remember, if you double click here, it should center. Oh, you know what? As a DM, we're on a new level and I haven't shared it with them. Let's coin that. Let's share the map. All right. There we go. Now they're centered. So if you click these, basically it centers. So let's just start down the line. So Austin, when we take a look at his skills, he is probably equally. He's got his +2 in acrobatics and a center this one and a 0. All right, so is it easier? It's easier. So he only needs a 9. Okay. So far so good. He manages to skip out. He's twist away from the demons, so they throw him in the vat of the acid, gives him the finger, and his challenge is done successfully. Meanwhile, Dent, probably athletics for him, I'm guessing. Yeah, +5. He needs to beat a 9, and he does so. Oh, so far, super good. Super good. Don't want to jinx anything yet. He's 0. He's got a better strength for sure, so I would guess, yeah. Needs to beat a 9. Oh, I changed their dice, but oh no, our first failure. He ends up thrown in the vat of acid. Oh, poor guy. Fortunately, it's very weak acid. It's one of the things about these challenges. They're not supposed to be killer. They're just supposed to be kind of fun. In this case, he's going to take 1 point of damage. I'm going to go ahead and damage him now while I'm thinking about it. And on to the next guy, Hien. Hien as a rogue is almost certainly going to be best in acrobatics. Yeah, he's not only proficient, he has a little strength. Is not his strength there. He's doing fine. So far, we have one failure. So the good news is they succeeded in the challenge already. But the only question is, will Tordak take some acid damage? Like the like the other fighter, he's proficient. Ooh, that rolled off the 17, but it's still more than enough. All right, so only poor Girth falls in the vat. That means, oops, I didn't mean to close that. Let's just make sure they're all open. All right, we can close the level 1 map, get the level 2 map out. There we go. That means they continued on, or they can. I'm not sure which way they want to go. Let me think about it. Whichever direction they wanted to go in, they can. I'm in the player because I own all these players. No, it's interesting. So, what an let's just okay that. Usually as a no, it didn't get the centipede. That's why the damn needs to do it. Okay. I didn't get silence. Oh, or the centipede. Okay, that makes sense. Uh Now the way challenges never end, so every time somebody goes into this, they have to do the challenge, which means this is a significant friction. Uh, that means now that they know that there's a challenge there, they probably want heading south. See if they can link up this way would be a good idea. Because trying to run back and having a challenge, if they hadn't succeeded, they would have been right there. But if they're trying to run back and they have a monster behind them or something, getting stopped there may force a fight they don't want. So we'll go south, see if we can get them to connect up.